Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. We're just waiting patiently for Coach Billups to head to the podium. When we'll head down there and hear what he has to say ahead of this game. Obviously, hopefully get a update on who's going to play and who's not going to play. I read off that list for you, right? It's a laundry list of people not playing tonight. Ayton, Grant, Henderson, McGowan, Simons, Williams, all out. Denny Avdia doubtful with a right thumb sprain. Shaden Sharp questionable with right knee soreness. I would hope that he's able to go because he's been looking good these last few games. I want to continue to get some of that confidence, right, moving forward. So it's just some of that, just the flow, the ability to show off a little bit. Because he's definitely been showing off. A career high 37 points against Utah, showing what he's made of, man. And so I hope he can continue to do that, and I hope he gets on the court tonight. And we'll get the update here soon enough. And it's unfortunate too with Scoot being out because I would have liked to see him again too. I mean, I think at this point the odds of him playing on Sunday are pretty low, but it's still it would be nice just because he was looking really good this year. Had his ups and downs, right? But you could just tell that he was getting better and more confident, and things were just slowly starting to come together for him. I hope he can, if he doesn't get back in by Sunday, he has a great off season and Portland can see some more growth from him because they're going to need it. They're definitely going to need some growth from him moving forward. So can they get that? It's a good question. It's a really, really good question, and one that we don't have an answer to just yet. It's something we're trying to find. So anyway, here's Coach. Let's hear what he has to say.
No Denny. Delano, Tease, 2, DC, Chris Murray.
Chauncey, going back to the Utah game, what was the reason for taking out Tumani and Shaden going into Mr. Restriction?
Yeah, I've done it about 2 or 3 times over the last couple games of the trip as well.
So the Chicago game as well.
Yeah.
Chauncey, where would you point to Shaden having the biggest strides this season on and off the court? Where do you think he's going to go?
Man, I think he's gotten better in a ton of areas. The biggest, I think one, his intention just to be aggressive, and to not defer is where I've made the most progress with him. He's just such a good kid and with a great spirit that, he sees older guys out there and he just tries to fall back, So I worked really, really hard at trying to get him just not to defer, just go out and be aggressive and keep finding it, and I think he's done a really good job with that. His readiness and his alertness on the defensive end of the floor is where I think we've made some pretty big gains as well. So I just think, all in all, man, he's had a really good season with that. It's been a little here and there, but what young guy doesn't have that? But by and large, man, he took some big strides.
How would you grade yourself this season? It was such a tough start.
Mm-hmm.
The whole city seemed like they wanted you out. And then you got the franchise back on some good footing.
Damn.
Yeah. I don't know about grades.
What I'm saying is a team, and you showed some great strides. Like, how did you get through that patch, and how do you think you've done since the recovery?
I think I got through that patch like I always do. I just stay locked in, stay focused, and I'm not a big background music person. So I just was locked in the whole time. I think that I've also taken a lot of strides this year, with this team, have an opportunity to compete pretty much all the way to the end, has given me some incredible experiences and games that I know I learned a lot from, if that makes sense. And I think by and large, the biggest thing that any coach wants to really do is to create their culture, I think this year more than any year, if you look at our team, I think they kind of embody my personality now, so I thought we all as a group, myself included, just came a long way and got better, and we all had a long way to go. We still got a long way to go, but this has been a successful season, I thought.
Considering the Cooper Flags and other people, why did you guys still fight? Why didn't you throw in the towel? I'm sure there was some incentive with the prospects that were available.
Yeah, I just believe you can't control fate. You know, you got to go out, and it's more important for me as the head coach. At least it was really important for me to keep trying to establish the winner that I am. And I think when my guys understand that and they know that, you know, they start to replicate that. You know, so to me, it's if it's to be, that'll happen anyway. You know, shit, Atlanta had a 2.8% chance to get the number one pick last year. They got it. It was just to be. You can't control fate. So I really don't worry about that. I worry about trying to be the best that I can for these guys.
Chauncey, Tumani said that defensively he feels like he locks in too much on what's in front of him and isn't as good as he can be within the team scheme. Do you feel the same way even with the disruption stuff that he has?
Yeah, I do. He's special, man. He's special. But he is, when he gets really locked in, he could blow a coverage because of that. What we may have been trying to do on the play, he may have cost us because he didn't switch when he was supposed to, or he didn't veer when he was supposed to. Now they're shooting 5 is shooting a 3 when, you know, that's an improvement area for him, because I don't want Tumani to just be the guy that can guard the ball. I want him to be just as elite off the ball. I want him to be just as elite as he is at guarding and pressuring the ball. I want him to be able to take people away from the play. I want him to be so versatile, and he will be, you know. But the fact that he understands that and he knows that is it's a big deal, man. It's a big deal, and he'll get it. He'll get it.
You talked a lot about the young core this season and just developing and growing and throughout all these reps and these games. Is there any one of those young guys like the Shadings, Denny's, maybe even Scoot, that maybe you have a little bit more of a smile with, like in terms of their strides that they made this season for them personally?
I would say it was one, because they've all come a long way, you know. It's unfortunate that Scooter's, got the concussion, because he could have used these games, but you look at the steps that Scoot took this year. He took some incredible steps. So I'm really proud of him, and obviously, you look at Shaden, you look at Denny and what Denny's been able to do, and kind of discovering things about his own self and his own game that he didn't even know. So, of course, we didn't know, all of those guys. I mean, you look at DC, the extended minutes he's been able to play, the education he's been able to have because of that, playing against these guys. I mean, a game like tonight, this is incredible for a guy like DC, to play against a team that needs to win, championship pedigree. Those are great moments, to be a part of. So there's so many guys. It's not just one guy or two guys or even three, which is a beautiful thing.
All right. Thank you all.
All right.
Appreciate it, Coach.
All right.
And there you hear from Coach Billups, and no Shaden Sharp tonight. That is very, very unfortunate, especially what we just did about how nice it would be to see him out there, get a little extra run and what have you. Also, he did mention that part of the reason he took those guys out and didn't play them in overtime was because they were on a minutes restriction. I do know that to be the case, so it's not that he's making that up. We've confirmed that through sourcing that is a thing. Got to remember too, was missing a little bit of a time there with some ankle stuff. Shea's missing some time there. Obviously, with the knee, he's not going to play tonight. So I guess that makes sense. Maybe it's coincidental. Who knows? But I know that's the same info we were gathering as well. So that's your update tonight. And he did mention something in there that I don't really want to gloss over, though. Like the team has learned a lot this year because they've been better, and so they've been in positions that they haven't been in recent years, right? In trying to win late ball games or making a push for a play-in or any of that. And we always talk about what the team learns in those situations. I don't think we talk enough about what the coach learns in those situations. And I think that it's quite evident that he's learned a little bit, right? You make mistakes in some of these games, and then you go out and you have a chance to win a game. I mean, you look at what happened against New York, and then the very next game, they learned from that. Like, I think he's learning too, and that's why you're starting to get to the point where people are questioning, like, is he the coach moving forward? Does the team like him? I know the team does. I know the team likes him, and I know that there's teams around the league that like him too. We just always talk about a player. When a player shows progression, we don't talk enough about a coach. And I do think Chauncey has shown some progress. Is he still, rough around the edges, so to speak? Does he still have some things you'd like him to work on? I absolutely think so. But, just where his future is, whether it's in Portland or elsewhere or on the market, it remains to be seen. I know the front office has a tough task ahead because Coach Billups is a guy that they've been with now for a handful of years and that they trust, and they may very well think that he's the guy they want to moving forward. But also, you got Mike Malone and Taylor Jenkins on the free agent market that you feel like you might want to give them a call too, just to kick the tires a little bit and see what's up. So plenty of intrigue this offseason, whether it be coaching or the roster and all this stuff. I do think that you're really starting to see how a roster plays when that roster is built for Chauncey. Obviously getting two in here and his versatility, and Denny Avdia and his versatility, getting bigs like Donovan Clingan, and I think you got really good uses out of DA this year prior to him getting injured, and I do think there's something to be said about that. So where it goes moving forward remains to be seen. What we do know for a fact, that's all we know for a fact, is that the Blazers have 2 games left this season, and then we can get into pure 100% speculation territory and wonder about what's going on, because that's what the off season is for, and the NBA playoffs, which last like 10 months, and things get crazy. And before you know it, though, you're all going to go take a nap. You're going to be like, okay, game 82 is in the books. We can finally go relax. You're going to go relax, and then you're going to be like, oh, it's Summer League. That happened quick. Here we go. Let's get to Vegas and see whatever new Blazers we got and how they're going to impact this team moving forward. All right, this is Blazers Game Day presented by Coors Light. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. If you want to follow the conversation, 503-248-0620 is one way to do that. You can also go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. And, of course, Chris J. Burkhardt is the name on social. We're going to take a quick little break. When we return, it's time for our Coors Cold Hard Facts here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. It's time now for our Coors Cold Hard Facts. And I want to just go in for a second and say that this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. I think this team really kind of almost outshot their coverage a little bit this year. Played so much better than we thought they were going to play. Slow out of the gate. But second half of the year, pretty much when the calendar flipped to 2025, we started to get real good runs out of Scoot. We started to get real good runs out of Shea, incredible runs out of Denny, Tumani Kamara, like everybody, right? And so I think this is just the beginning. I think this team, I think legit will be battling for a play-in, if not more, next year. I think the roster is going to get turned over the way it needs to be in the offseason. Whether that be Jeremy Grant, Ant, DA, a mix of whoever. But I think that you got guys like Shea and and Denny who have proven that they are core pieces you can build around. I think Scoot has proven he deserves a spot. He's been very good. Yes, he's not, hasn't lived up to the hype, if you will, of being a third overall pick, but you know what? He's been good. And he's been playing like a backup should. He is a backup. You got to remember that. And he's not the starter, right? But he's been playing good for a backup. I think that he can take another jump this year and maybe really solidify himself as the starter. And I think you go into next year, and if you build the roster right in the offseason, you go into next year with, probably a starting lineup of Scoot, Shea, Denny, and DA. With Donovan Clingan continuing to come off the bench. At that point, probably still getting his 20-25 minutes a night, which would be just fine with me as he continues to refine his offensive game. And then you start to look at the rest of your roster and how things are shaped out. And it's like, okay, well, if that's your starting lineup moving forward, you still have Matisse Thybulle likely. I still think it makes the most sense for Matisse Thybulle to pick up that player option he has. So you got your defense guy on the wing. So you're still going to need some depth. So I think that's where, trading those guys comes into play. And maybe you can get some good backup shooting guards, backup point guards, backup power forwards, and round out the depth chart like that. And just enjoy the run, man, because I really think those guys will play together and can win ball games. And one thing I will say about DA, because I know when you mention DA, everyone wants to talk about Donovan Clingan and how good he is and how bad DA has been. I thought DA really turned the corner late in the year, second half of the year. Looked really good, add some versatility, and especially if you give the reins to Scoot Henderson, I think it's pretty clear that he and Scoot have a pretty good chemistry together. They play well together. They've built a good friendship off the court, and I think those things matter, man. So I think that's what you're looking at. And if Blazers can take that and build off of it, then that's a good thing. That's an absolute good thing. So you hope that that's something they can do, and they hope that the off-season moves are what they need to be, because it's clear. Like, I think this team can be better next year. I think they can be a play-in team. I think they can strive for more, but not as constructed, right? Like, you still need to get those pieces in and open the doors a little bit and just walk up to Scoot and say, hey, you know what? You're our guy now. You're our guy. We want you to be the starting point guard and go out there and have a ball, my man. Have a ball. Show us why we drafted you third overall. Okay, and everyone's like, "Oh, why would you put him up there if he hasn't earned it?" And it's like, well, he's earned it. I think it's just right now you got a roadblock and another guy who earned that job too, and it's a lot harder to take that guy off that's making $25 million, supposed to be the face of this group off the floor. But I also think it's telling that when you're missing Ant and you're missing Jeremy, like no one's really batting an eye, right? So I think you need to move off them, figure that out. And then continue to build this bad boy, but I do think I would say the core four, the core three, Shea, 2, and Denny, and then the next lineup would be DC and Scoot have proven that they belong and proven that the team should be building around them, and I really hope that the offseason proves that. This is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. If you want to join in on the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also follow me on social media at Chris J. Burkhardt. And last but certainly not least, head on over to YouTube. Type in Rip City Radio. Get in on the conversation there where XC Depp says, yo, what's up, Chris? What's up? What's up, East Coast? How we doing? We're just gonna stay up late to watch some Blazer ball. You gonna stay up the whole time? You gonna stay up till halftime before your eyes get too heavy? Oh man, I'll tell you what. That's a rant. That is a rant to end all rants, and that is the fact that being on the West Coast, my friends, is pretty awesome when it comes to sports viewership, right? You get 7 o'clock Eastern Conference games. You can watch those in the middle of the afternoon. You don't have to stay up late to watch Duck games or Beaver games. You complain about an 8:30 tip-off, which you turn around and you're like, Duck fans on the East Coast are like, oh my gosh, this game doesn't even start till 11:30. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's the third quarter. You're snoring on your couch, you know? Game like today, 7 o'clock tip. You're a Blazer fan. You're like, oh, this thing's not even gonna be over till like 1 o'clock in the morning. I think Michael Shacker brought that up. Like you feel bad for the when the East Coast teams come in. Like the fifth quarter here, we got it good with the fifth quarter. You know, the game starts at 7, means fifth quarters usually starting around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Like if you're the New York Knicks, for example, and you come into town and you have a version of the fifth quarter, that's not starting till 12:30 half the time with the way these schedules are. 12:30, 1 o'clock. Can you imagine 1 o'clock in the morning? Welcome into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Oh my goodness, yeah. It's pretty wild. The West Coast, it's pretty awesome when it comes to sports viewership. Sports viewership here is pretty awesome. We got a West Coast Rumble tonight here at Moda Center, as it it approached rivalry status for a minute, right? Golden State and Portland constantly meeting in the playoffs. You had the 2019 Western Conference Finals. Felt like it was just year after year, because it really pretty much was, that you had to constantly sit there and do, oh my gosh, we got the Warriors again. Oh my gosh, we got the Warriors again. First round, oh my gosh, we're playing down at Oracle. Oh, yeah. Every single year, it's like there was just the hump the Blazers couldn't get over. Now you got them tonight. It's just crazy to think now. Dame's gone, Aminu's gone, Harkless is gone, Nurk is gone, right? All the guys that are part of that team. And then here comes the Warriors. They don't have Clay, but it's still Draymond and Steph just rolling. And boy, howdy, is Jimmy Butler not just an absolutely perfect matchup for that team. Plug-and-play guy. You have the same mentality that our coach does, wanting to not only be good offensively, but be incredibly efficient and good defensively, which matters. Like, man, wow, the Warriors are a team, I think, quite frankly, they don't want to play in, because anything can happen in that play-in. Nobody wants that. No one wants the chance to get bounced without really having a chance. Because the NBA, the crazy part about it is any team can get hot for a game. Any team can get hot for a game, right? So you look at the 9-10 matchup, someone's going to bounce someone, and then the loser of the 7-8 is going to play that winner. And say Golden State sits there and finishes at 8, and they lose, and now they got one more game, and it's against a team like Sacramento or something, and it's just one game to win it. Any team can get hot for one game. You don't want that. You want to get one of the top 6, get yourself guaranteed, get in that playoff, and you get yourself a series, because a team like the Warriors has always been built for a series, right? That's how Coach Kerr coaches. That's how Steph plays. They are built for 7 games if need be, right? They don't want the play-in. So they're going to bring everything they got tonight against the team in the Blazers that's injury depleted. No Denny tonight, no Shaden Sharp. We did what was the quick math on that? 9 guys out for your Portland Trail Blazers tonight. I joked earlier about how every NBA team should have a veteran pool that they can just dip into whenever needed, no questions asked. Like Martell Webster still lives in town. Like, hey, can you give us 15 good minutes tonight? Just once a year. It's game 81. You can just come in. Hey, Steve Blake, where you at? Yeah, we need 10 minutes off the bench tonight. And you good? You good to come in? So yes, sir. I'll be there tomorrow. Right? Can Portland pull out like a player coach? Can Chauncey run 10 minutes tonight? Just give a little bit of reprieve to the guys. Every team should have a bench that they can just go to, and yep, these are our guys for the night. The former Blazers coming in to save the day. Be kind of funny, wouldn't it? I mean, E.T. was on the broadcast last night. He's only 36. He can still roll. You can still give him a game. Why not? He comes in, plays game 81 against the Warriors. replicates his famous photo. If you know, you know. Everyone has a good laugh. It's Rip City, baby, right? Oh my gosh. It'd be kind of fun. Also, XC Depp chimes in. He says, "Brother, I would rather stay up late than have rain outside for 300 days." Nope. Staying up late. Nope. Plus, I was talking West Coast in general. Doesn't rain a lot in San Diego and Los Angeles. And Portland is all right, man. I cover a lot of sports. You know how many times I end up soaked covering those sports? I can count on like one or two hands. A little bit of rain never hurt anybody. It's all good. So, anyway, this is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. You can follow me on social at Chris J. Burkhardt. And, of course, go to youtube.com, type in, get in on the conversation there. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to give you our keys to the game. What do the injury-depleted Blazers need to do to get a win over the Warriors? I'll let you know when we return after the break right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Time now for our keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to upset the Golden State Warriors? Steph and Co. are in town tonight looking to help their odds at, not getting into the play-in. Well, this one's pretty simple, especially with everything that's going on with the roster tonight. Remember, no Denny, no Shea, no Scoot, no Ant. Like, it's pretty depleted, right? You're going to have to find offense, and I don't know who exactly that's going to be. I mean, you got Matisse Thybulle, not a great shooter. He can still get you a few points here and there. Donovan Clegan, great defensively. Offensively is, leaves a little bit to be desired. Also with a lineup like the Warriors can present, can put him out on an island, so you might not even have situations where you can have him out there for too long just because of what can happen when he's out trying to guard Steph or Jimmy or what have you. So I think tonight you're going to need guys like Chris Murray and Jabari Walker to just play incredibly well. You're going to need Chris Murray to light it up. You're going to need Jabari Walker to bring the energy that he does, maybe throw the Warriors off a little bit. And you're probably going to need another game like you had from Rayon Rupert just the other night where he had 19 points, a career high. That's going to be important for this team tonight. So that's basically how you're going to beat this Golden State team. Is you're going to have guys who don't normally get in these games who are going to be in here tonight. Just get hot. Just get hot. Like I said earlier, I mean, that's why if you're a team like Golden State, you don't want to get the play in, man, because you want to put yourself in a situation where you can get into a series because any NBA team can get hot for a night. We've seen it a handful of times throughout the history of this game. We all love this game. We know it, right? We remember Portland going to Philadelphia years ago and, CJ Ellaby going off, right? Leading the team with no Dame and such to a victory. So you never know what can happen. And if you're Golden State, the thing is they're well coached enough and veteran savvy enough that they're not going to let that happen. They're going to do their best to just do what they do defensively, get you out of your comfort zone and just get out to a lead and get out to a lead early. So we'll see how they attack the Blazers and then, really just see how the Blazers react to that. And I think that's going to be the key tonight. Even if you take the loss, I want to see how the young guys react to kind of getting punched in the mouth by Golden State. Because if this is a boxing matchup or, UFC, let's fight. Two guys come to the corner, and before you even know it, boom, right to the mouth. You got a busted lip, right? Now you got to deal with that for the rest of the fight. Like that's what Golden State does, right? They're going to come in, they're going to hit you, quick jab, and how do you react to getting hit in the face? That's going to be key for your Portland Trailblazers here tonight as they take on the Golden State Warriors. Game 81 of 82. One more game left on the schedule, and that is Sunday against the Lakers, which will be Fan Appreciation Night. First 7,777 fans inside Moda will leave with another commemorative glass. This one, a special Rip City Runs Deep edition, right? You guys already got Klingon, and you already got Shea, and you got Scoot. Now you can get a Rip City Runs Deep edition, which is a cool little ad. There'll be plenty of stuff going on around Moda Center on Sunday, too, to commemorate the fans who have stuck through thick and thin and been here all season long. So if you don't already, get your tickets for that. And heck, if you don't have them already, head on down the Moda right now. You still got about an hour before tip-off. Plenty of time to get in on the action. But I'll tell you what. I'm going to be sad on Sunday because the season's going to be a wrap, and I'm not going to not know what to do with myself after that. I've been used to getting all these game days and fifth quarters all year long and all week long, and then the Blazer season ends, and I've come to enjoy every single minute of it, win or lose. So it's always terrible when the season comes to an end. But the positive, you still got 2 more games, baby, and you get to enjoy it. Also, Joe Cronin will talk to the media after the game on Sunday. Be the first chance Portland fans and media have had a chance to hear from him since the news broke last week of him signing the extension with Portland to stay here for a multi-year deal. So we'll ask about that. Also sounds like exit interviews will be going on, so we'll get a chance to talk to a bunch of the players and kind of wrap up the season and put a nice little bow on it, and then just get excited for what's to come, because there's a lot to come, whether it be coaching changes or bringing Chauncey back or team roster changes. Like, the offseason holds a lot of intrigue. Still got the lottery, which plenty to play for in that too. You look at the Tankathon standings. Portland is currently tied with Phoenix in those standings. San Antonio has a 2-game lead on Portland and Phoenix. And keep in mind, who plays the San Antonio Spurs tonight? who plays the San Antonio Spurs tonight? Oh, the Phoenix Suns. So a huge game with the implications of your standings. Also going around the league tonight again is your scoreboard watching, because there's so much to look at in the Western Conference with the everyone from the Lakers down to the Grizzlies, just 2 games separating 3rd and 8th place right now. You got a couple of Eastern Conference games, but then you also have Raptors, Mavs. See how the Mavs hold on when it comes to their play-in spot. Obviously, Minnesota has Brooklyn tonight. Memphis versus Denver, an absolutely monster game. The winner of that one gets a good jump in the standings. Thunder and Jazz doesn't mean much. Spurs, Suns, massive in the Tankathon standings. Warriors, Blazers, that one's going to have some implications for Golden State. You also have the Clippers and Kings. Clippers want that game. Kings want that because they want to have that home game in the play-in. And then you also have the Rockets at the Lakers, which is a big one because the Rockets are pretty darn good, and the Lakers want to keep those wins and hold on to their spot in the West. So watch those games because still a lot to play for around the NBA. But thanks for tuning in to Blazers Game Day. But don't go anywhere. Just because we're done, still plenty going on, because waiting to take over, you got Chad Doing with the Trailblazers pregame show coming up across the Trailblazers audio network. And, of course, when the game is done, you got the 5th quarter, where we're hopefully breaking down a Trailblazers victory. Golden State Warriors, Portland Trailblazers. It's coming up in an hour. Rip City, we'll talk to you after the game.